Continuing where we left off, as you can see, I trim these flaps so I can get the lacings on. And now that I have the lacing preset, you notice I use like wood to be my backboard, so I have like a firm support. So I'm gonna be drilling through these holes right here, and it goes right through the back. And then I'll do the other side of the belt just the same as this. And then afterwards we'll connect both of them together. So it's most like it's just a lacing. This is what it looks like. The other side, I have not done the other side yet. This is what it looks like. I've already cut it and trim it. And that's the old piece sitting on top, the piece that I took out. I try not to take out too much, just in order to make sure that I don't use up too much of the belt, because it has adjustments on the sides right down there, and I'll have to adjust it when I'm done. And if it's not the right length, then that's where you're in trouble, because you can't join these lacings together. So as we go along, I'll show you what it looks like. Abby, you wanna come over this side and video while I'm boring these holes? Alright. So here we go. We have a special bit. We have a special bit that we're using here. This is what it looks like. The tip of it, kind of has like a sharp tip right there. Has a sharp tip right there, and then it has this hole right here to expel the parts that you drill. So that's a special tip we use for doing this kind of work. So here we go. Goes right through, and then you can see the rubber inside that part of the tip right there. And as you go along, it just keeps pushing them out. There we go again. So now you can see why I put that piece of wood, this piece of board at the back, so that it has a firm support. Alright, for reference, I want to show you guys what these new lacings look like. This is what the new lacings look like. It's the exact thing that I have on, but you want to turn this to the outer part of the belt. Turn it this way to the outer part of the belt. And then these parts with the teeth will be on the inside. So what I did before, I just put it up and then use pliers to grip it once I have the right measurements inside, so that the cable will go through and hold them together. So in the end, after I put this on the other side, this is what it should look like. You see, that fits perfect inside there. This is what it should look like. And then all I have to do is run a cable through and then crimp both ends, and you're good to go. let's keep going. We've got a lot of holes to drill. Another thing that I want to show you guys is that when you're drilling, you gotta know where the holes are, because it's gotta go right through both holes. And then after you do that, to get it to fit, we use special screws or bolts and nuts, and then they're gonna go through like this. So these are gonna go in from the back and protrude, and then this is how it's gonna look. So these nuts are gonna flush inside here, right? And then the bolts go to the back, and then we have a special socket that we use to tighten this, get it all the way down. And then you have to use a grinder to grind these studs off afterwards. So it has to be seamless, so that when it runs over the rollers and all of that, you have nothing and it's not cutting on anything or stuff like that. So even these, when you look at these parts right here of the lacings, they're gonna have to be flush. They're gonna be sucked in whenever I tighten these bolts. Alright, so we continue. These are going all the way through. You have to make sure that they're on the right angle, so that they go all the way through. Alright, so this is another part that I'm going to be working on. So I'm going to be using clips to join this part of the belt which is torn, so that I can get it back to this. But I'll show you that when I get it done. Right, when I get everything done and I put this part on, I'm going to put clips across here to join it back together, and then I'll show you that. That will be part of the last part. So we're looking good. All the holes are done for this side. Then we're going to remove this wood, and then we're going to start putting our nuts and bolts and get ready for tightening. So I'll just remove this. There might be other professional ways of doing this, but this is what I have been doing for quite a while, and it works perfectly for me, so there's no sense in changing that. I just roughneck it, as I'm a Jamaican. So alright, let me go ahead and I'll show you the process. I'll show you what to do when you install the bolts and the nuts. Just make sure you have everything here. It might be short on nuts. But just to give you an example of how it works, it doesn't matter where you start. Insert, and then you make sure that it's lined up. You see how it's flush right there? If you notice, it has these two slots. So when you push it in, you turn it, make sure it's flush right there, then you hold it, and then at the same time go around to the front. And this is how you like I said before, we're gonna tighten this. When we suck it in, then we're gonna have to use a grinder to cut the excess, the other part off, and then make sure that it's all flush and smooth. So I'll show you that as we go along. We're gonna get all these bolts and get all the nuts, and then I'll show you guys the end process, what it looks like. But basically, this is how we do it. So we get all these bolts from this side, from the inner side of the belt. So you won't be seeing this when it's all done and put together, because this part will be up here in the top part of the conveyor where the other section of the belt is. So we're underneath the conveyor right now. As you can see, we have built up all these dirts and trash and whatever. But yeah, this is what it's gonna look like, and I'll show you that part when we're done. All right, you can stop.